Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Today we have got Chelsea transfer news. We didn't have a transfer news video yesterday other than Datro Fofana being recalled from his loan, and then since then he's been loaned out again. That was the only real news that we had yesterday, but today is a striker-centric focused video. We're going to be talking a little bit about a new potential target that has been identified for Chelsea, why it's not going to happen, why it's going to be so difficult, and why I think the news that the ownership are willing to spend money again and just throw cash at the problem right now, whether it's good, whether it's bad, and also 11 days in, 12 days in now to the transfer window, is it almost too late? Because the later things get in January, the harder it gets. Before I do go any further though, I want to ask you guys, if you can, to drop me a follow on TikTok. I'm posting the shorts videos that you may see here or you may not see here depending on if you watch YouTube shorts, but regardless, link to my TikTok is in the description, as is Twitter and also Instagram. But we begin today with the opening news, and it's kind of a positive one. I want to start on a positive note. Simon Phillips here has tweeted through Sammy Mockbell81_DM. Sources close to Victor Osimhen have indicated that the striker is open to joining Chelsea. I'm only starting with this here. We've talked about Victor Osimhen so many times on the channel, but with the last 3 videos being just so hyper negative videos, they're realistic videos though. I'm not gonna, this year, people have always said to me, when Chelsea lose, you don't post. I'm like, yeah, you're right, mate, because I like to post when I'm feeling good about things. This year, we're doing it differently. When things are bad, you guys are still gonna get your video. Unless, like, I don't know, I'm on a boat somewhere in the middle of Antarctica. But then again, that's just ice, so I probably won't be on a boat. You get my drift. You know what I mean? So yeah, Victor Osimhen is open to joining Chelsea. The reason I want to bring this up is to bring an element and a caveat of realism here into things also, because the problem with the fact that we have not been doing business already in the opening 12 days of the window is, as the energy around Chelsea continues to develop into a more and more negative light, the issue becomes that Chelsea become that chaos club again in the global media. You look at the results and you're losing to championship sides, and players that might want to join us, whether that is right now in January or pre-contractual agreements for next summer, Victor Osimhen case in question, you're not looking at Chelsea after all of these results as things get worse and thinking, yeah, you know what? I'm happy to say in January, I'm leaving Naples having just signed a new contract, and I'm going to join Chelsea for the beginning of next season. The worst things get at Chelsea right now, which is why I've said that action needs to happen, and I stand by that until things dramatically change. I'll flip-flop if I want to. That is football. That's the way it works and the way it should work. You shouldn't just have an opinion and stick with it forever. It's a results-based business. So I think Chelsea here are in a position where if we're going to be going for players like Osimhen, you should have been on the phone 5 minutes ago, mate. We found out, and we're going to do a video on this before the Fulham game tomorrow, Bali is the bloke who makes all of the flipping decisions. At this point in time, you've got sporting directors who, in my opinion, have clearly failed in their new roles at Chelsea Football Club. Bedad Bali, mate, this is a message directly to you. Get on the blower to Victor Osimhen, or the bloke that we're going to speak about in a moment is also a good option, but we're going to get our pants pulled down, and I don't know if it's just going to be a spank. I think it could get significantly worse, more gory than that one. But we move into Chelsea owners, Todd Boehly and Egbali, are willing to invest during the January transfer window in hope of rescuing a season that has so far been a huge disappointment. And then again here we've got Sammy Mockbell's tweet. Chelsea will revert to what they know to boost their ailing season, throwing money at it. But getting what they need, a striker and a left-back. Left-back as well? Like, yeah, blimey, we do now that we've got Ian Maatsen who's in Dortmund. Isn't straightforward. Look, at this point in time, it's going to be very difficult to sway my opinion away from whoever it is in charge. The players right now are not good enough. So the reality of the situation is, as lunatic as it may sound, we actually do just need to throw money at the problem. Because, like, there's not enough players coming through right now in the academy who are ready to take Chelsea from 10th in the Premier League. There's some very good academy youngsters and players that would probably fight for the badge and the shirt, significantly more than some of the ones that we're seeing play at the moment. But at the same time, the realistic answer is the Premier League is too good. Even Fulham, they almost got a great result at Liverpool, but for a brilliant Klopp comeback in the second half. Liverpool 1 foot into the Carabao Cup final. Will Chelsea be there? We'll find out next week. But throwing money at the problem, as much as I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, yeah, of course, we're going to throw money at the problem, but maybe we should also be throwing money at the payout that would be necessary to sack the manager, because I think he's lost it. Check out the video tomorrow morning where we talk about the potential rift in the dressing room already, and we're only at the beginning of January. But let's try and keep things on like a positive note, shall we? I'm keeping things real, guys. I'm telling you now, this year on GBFC, we are simply speaking the mind. And if that is negative, I'm sorry if you don't want it. But I'm a Chelsea fan. I want to see my club succeed. And I do think Evan Ferguson is a player who, as much as he's not at the top of my pecking order, it would be Victor Osimhen. I'd even say if Harry Kane wins the Bundesliga this season and maybe a Champions League with Bayern, Chelsea should even try and go in with an audacious bid to bring Harry Kane. And I would say that over Evan Ferguson, because Evan Ferguson is still very young. He's also relatively injury prone, where you take an injury prone player and you put him in Chelsea and his career basically ends. That's kind of where we're at with this now. Chelsea are interested in signing Evan Ferguson from Brighton. Nizar Kinsella then goes on to say Evan Ferguson is admired by Chelsea and seems a good fit for the striker search. However, his new deal in November, this gets worse, has strengthened Brighton's position and made a deal unlikely. The Seagulls are tough negotiators. We bloody know that, don't we? Hence a lack of action. Now, this is where you look at the news, you read into Chelsea stories, you look at the inevitable need right now to bring in a striker so that we can actually put the ball in the back of the net. It's almost like when you talk about Chelsea now, you've got to speak as if you're speaking to like a child who doesn't have ears, a mouth, a nose or senses. Do you know what I mean? You've got to really dumb this one down. We don't score enough goals. We don't have anyone that can finish really at the club. We do, but when he has an off day, we capitulate. Cole Palmer is the bloke I'm talking about, and Nkunku's always injured. So, Evan Ferguson is an answer. I don't know if it's the right answer because it's a gamble. Again, he is very, very young and he's been playing in a Brighton system that is clearly significantly more advanced in terms of a play style, tactical implementation, managerial instructions. When you move to Chelsea, you have to dumb that down by about 90% because we are probably about 10% of the way there when it comes to like implementation, strategy, people knowing what they're doing, and the kind of atmosphere that you need to thrive as a professional young footballer, nurturing yourself into your career. So for me, Evan Ferguson is a good option, but the key thing here is Brighton. Brighton and they're negotiating. I would say that in terms of Premier League clubs, they're the best run club in the country right now, even though they're still like towards the upper end of the mid-table, bottom half of the top half. They are still incredible when it comes to transfer business. And Chelsea know from the Moises Caicedo deal that this is going to be difficult. Not just Caicedo, but Cucurella as well. They pulled our pants down for both of these two players. I think Caicedo was probably the only player that could have walked off the field against Borough and semi-held his head high, apart from when he just stops defending for the Middlesbrough goal. So yeah, I mean, every little silver lining here just gets shut down, doesn't it, to be quite honest. But Evan Ferguson to Chelsea. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I do really like him as a player. I think he is going to go to the top. I think he's going to score a lot of goals and develop. He's got the height, he's got the speed, he can finish. But again, I think we just need to be looking for experience. We've got so many youngsters and they're not being given the right instructions and they're too young to kind of figure it out for themselves. There's no steel, there's no backbone. So we don't really need more 21, 22-year-olds, 20-year-olds, whatever he is. He's not old enough. So I'm not convinced. We move into the final story of the day. David Datro Fofana, a striker. We got rid of him as well. David Datro Fofana to Burnley. Here we go. Agreement in place for the striker to join on loan deal. Understand there's no buy option. Chelsea believe Premier League experience will be key. Medical on Saturday. Salary 100% covered by Burnley. That's good news. First call on this deal was David Ornstein. So, Datro Fofana. As much as I say sarcastically, as another striker's going out of the club when we don't have strikers to score, I'm not for 1 second saying that David Datro Fofana was the answer to Chelsea's striker goal scoring problems in the month of January. He absolutely isn't the answer. The guy is still incredibly raw. We've seen him at Chelsea already, and he works really hard. He's enthusiastic, I would say, is the word to describe him. But he isn't the answer. Oh, that felt like an earthquake there, but I just kicked the tripod. Sorry. Burnley, this is a good one. They're in the relegation zone. They desperately need to start scoring more goals to stay in the Premier League. And this could be the signing for them. And this could be the making, potentially, of David Datro Fofana. I'll be very honest with you. I don't think he's going to set the world alight at Burnley. I don't think it's going to be a case of he keeps them in the Premier League and then Chelsea don't need to spend money on a striker. Don't think that's going to happen, but I do love the fact it's a Premier League move. I think it shows that there is the ability there for a club like Burnley, who desperately need goals, to be like, all right, we've seen enough of this guy to suggest that he could be that man for us. Potentially good news for Chelsea moving forward. Anyway, we're going to not take up any more of your time here. If you do want to struggle yourself, later on today, the Chelsea-Fulham match preview is going out. I'm flying to Bangkok, Thailand tomorrow. It's very close from Bali. It's about 4 hours. So I'm going on a little 5-day holiday. It's a working holiday, though. So I'm going to be posting videos every single day for you guys. So stay tuned for that. I've got a video going out before the Fulham game tomorrow as well. Not sure why I'm doing that, but I am. And then we've got 6 things we learned tomorrow too. So stay tuned later for the Fulham preview. Come on, you Blues.